Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Fprl. This is Collateral Ads, and joining me tonight will be.
Cross 1888.
So, this is our Silverstone round 9 of Tier 4 race. This is also a sprint weekend for us, so you'll see I believe, is it a 9-lap sprint? 12.
It
I
should be
think it's
9.
12. I think it's a 9-lap sprint, and then you will have a full 50% race after that. So this is a short qualifying, and this will determine the position to start on the sprint race, and wherever you finish on the sprint race will determine where you will start in the main race. And there is points up for grabs, so anyone, I believe, in the top 8 will gain points from this sprint race. So pretty famous circuit, I would say. It's probably the most famous circuit on the F1 calendar. Very, very famous corners. We've got Cops, Stowe, Maggots and Beckett's, Hanging Straight, so plenty of opportunities to pass and make mistakes. How do you feel about this circuit then, Cross Green? Do you like Silverstone?
Yeah, personally, it's a favourite for myself. It's just something about how free flowing it is. Once you're really in the rhythm, it does feel like a great track. So it is going to be a challenge for these guys. If they can get into the rhythm, then they should be enjoying it tonight and probably picking up some good points.
So going by last weekend, we had our top 3 drivers in the championship not score any points, so it was a really terrible weekend for them, and we had some of the 4th, 5th and 6th drivers in the championship gain points on them. Do you think they'll come back with a bounce, or do you generally think that they'll struggle again this weekend? Now everyone else has got confidence.
I think definitely the 3 guys, they should be looking here to set the way straight from last week and try to get up either high points or podium. I think that will settle them down again on the next week.
Yeah, so it is, like I was saying earlier to you, it is a very low traction circuit. So plenty of corners again to make mistakes. Maggots and Beckett's, you get it right, you can do flat out through Maggots, and obviously slight lift off through Beckett's onto the Hanging Straight. Any concerning corners for you? Do you think people will struggle at throughout this Grand Prix? I know in my race I struggled with the last sector, which is obviously the slowest. I would say the slowest part of the track, which is the last 2-3 corners.
Yeah, well, Stowe, it's going to be a problem for the guys on the exit. Sometimes the back end will step out on you, so it might force you to run out wide and you might get a warning. But for me, it has to be Cops. You know, it is a flat out corner if you get the line right, but if you don't get that line right, you're easily run out wide, and again, that's another warning, and that'll easily add up and will add on the time penalties for yourself.
Yeah, so we're just watching our P2 from last week, gentlemen. Mr. David Lowface. Hopefully we'll have another blind of a weekend this weekend. As we say that, we have McVitt and Magic Graham just go into the 126s with McVitt in first. Let's talk about McVitt a bit. He had a very, very solid weekend in Austria Cross Green. Not very good qualifying, but he managed to pick up a load of places for just pure performance and penalties and a few crashes, but he got a well-deserved podium in the end.
Yeah, throughout the whole race he was always there. He made up a few positions off the start, and as I say, just throughout the whole race he kept throwing us on his toes. And it's just under the safety cars where I think he lost it, and that allowed David to get that P2 off him. The pace that he's looking at the minute, I know it's early in qualifying, looks like it hasn't really phased him. He is going to probably look for a pole.
We've got David just coming out into the last couple of corners, at a rear end trying to step out on him. He'd done a 1:27.1, so plenty of time there for David. He would have lost a good chunk of time there. You just saw that car just stepping out, he's just trying to put the full throttle on. he's obviously got gone for a setup which has got more of a twisty back end, which you would want round here anyway. You would want more front wing than rear wing, just so you can get the car moving through them fast, moving left to right corners through Magnussen, Beckett and Cops. So we have Scotsman and Bloodblade just putting themselves into P3 and P4, but that is a good 6 tenths off Crossbury to McFit in their first runs.
Yeah, seeing Mick's time there, I was thinking to myself maybe a 126 to Ed or high 125 could be your full time. So for his first lap out, that's a very reasonable time to be setting for the rest of the field to try to chase.
Just in board as the Mercedes drivers come through the lovely Max and Beckett, and he actually takes that really nicely. Oh, just coming out to Hank. He's going to get a lovely little tow here. Hopefully these two guys don't get in the way. But someone from Red Bull sat on the racing line. Oh, that was close. That Red Bull should have got right out of the way then. That would have compromised his entry into that corner. He would have had to take a tighter line than what he should have done. So he's a little bit impeding there. Coming around to the last corner now. He's going to set a 126.7. So, yeah, that was a bit dangerous there by that Red Bull cross-screen.
Yeah, it's really forced Stale off his line there, so that would have lost him a few tenths going into Stowe. But yeah, it was pretty dangerous. The Red Bull should have been a bit more aware of his situation. I think he was coming in on his in lap. He should have been a bit more aware of this, and Mercedes coming in from behind at such a astonishing closing rate.
Yeah, so we've had most drivers now had their first run, so they'll be coming into the pits. These tyres only last a lap. Very high deck here. So in sprint and race, it's going to be quite a lot of tyre management for a lot of people. Let's talk about Skull Kid. He had a really terrible weekend, including his teammate last weekend in Austria, both getting drive-through penalties. But in the end, he did finish, I think, P13 with the penalty. He got nearly taken out Mongo. But he's really down on his timing. It's 3 seconds slower than it for Vit. I know, speaking to him earlier, it's not one of his favourite tracks, and he weren't looking forward to it. But yeah, confidence is quite low for the minute for Skull Kid.
Yeah, it does seem that way. Especially after last week, it wasn't anything great, as you said, for both of the Haas's. In fact, let's just say that he's nearly lost the rear end in the middle of Stowe. He's just coming into the pits, so he's probably hoping this week just to even get back into the points would be probably nice for him, just to give him that bit of confidence.
Yeah, he's been on and off all season. He had a very good showing in Spain, very good showing, I think, in Baku. There's a couple of Grand Prix where he has shown what he can do, but I think it's just track dependent at the minute for him. It's his first season doing sim racing, so he'll, like anyone, will get faster when the time goes by. Just got Radical now. Nothing soft tyres. Best way to do it in this game is not to do what Radical is doing, because it will damage your tyres going onto your thing. The best way of doing it, obviously, you're holding your brake around 40-50% and try and warming it up that way. Yeah, it's a bit of a weird one with the tyre wear this year. It's very hard to get warmth in their tyres.
Yeah, I've noticed that this year. It's especially on the formation lap, I seem to lose a lot of tyre wear, because I am one of them that does for the waving instead of holding the brake. But I learned that last week, that just holding the brake will heat up all the 4 tyres.
Yeah, at least it will warm up the old carcass bit around the outside. Just not, you know, you've got to try and save as much tyres wear as you can going into your quali lap, as it is only short, so these times are crucial. So take everyone around with Radical here, Crossbury, coming into sector 2 now.
Yeah, so we just went through Brooklyn, so it was, and now he's just into Luffield. It's a tight right-hander, as he's just actually got out of the way of one of the Haas's. So he mustn't have had a great first sector now that he's just going to back off and maybe just go again. That was short and sweet.
Finish off with Michaels, and he's coming out at the end of his lap now, and they're hanging straight.
Yeah, so if I could find him, he's just coming through Stowe now. Very quick right-hander. It's all on the exit as he just loses a bit of the rear. Now just heavy braking at the 100 meter board in the Vales, left, right chicane. It's all about getting on the power nicely here through club corner to the finish line. He does do that pretty well for 1:26.8. So that's not a bad time for him. It's representative enough. Maybe he can try to challenge McFitz later on. He did show the pace last week, so will he have it this week? We'll soon find out.
Yeah, going by Michaels, he had a very good strong showing in Austria, but the late safety car really didn't do him any favours. And he went, I believe, if I recall, he went to the hard tyres while everyone went to the softs, which obviously was the wrong decision in the end because he did drop down the pecking order. So yeah, hopefully this week he'll get the strategy right and see if he can take another win in Tier 4. So let's have a look. Let's see if Radical's going round again. Yeah, so go through with Radical now. He's on a lap, bud.
Yeah, no worries. So we've just given the entry down the Wellington Straight, coming down into Luffield, probably just after the 50-meter board. Keep the car wide, which he does, for a nice short corner in the field. It's all about the exit here. Coming down towards Cops. Pretty nice on the power there. Down towards Cops. As I said earlier, it is a flat out corner. If you did get the line right, there was a slight lift, which isn't such a bad thing, just to make sure you've got the lap time in hand for a later lap through Maggots and Beckett's. Maggots left right is flat out. Beckett's just a slight lift on the left right. It's all on the entry or the exit now down to the Hanger Straight. As he just runs a bit wide, DRS open, using all that battery that he can up towards Stowe. Just at the 50-meter board, you want to turn in slightly, run that car out wide, get onto the power. 6 and 7 could be a bit slower at the 100-meter board down in the Vale. Just runs a little bit wide on the first apex. Does gather it up nicely in the second apex. Round club for a 1:27.5. That's his second lap on them tires, so it probably does show the tire degradation right here.
Yeah, that one lap, you've got to try and get it in. And again, you really want to try and save a set of softs for the race anyway, just in case it's a late safety car. So you have 3 sets of softs for the qualifying. It's down to every drive they want to use every set of softs, but it just means that they won't have a fresh set for the race. Just seen Mongo go up into second. Let's talk about him recently. He had got caught up in some trouble last weekend. He was having a good showing till obviously he got hit. Did he get hit? Spun round, and then obviously Skull Kid collected him while he was trying to get out of the way of blue flags. So hopefully he's thrown that over his shoulder and he's going to produce a very good showing for the Alfa Romeo this weekend.
Yeah, it was. In fact, it was pretty good recovery drive from Mongo last week after the incident that had happened. And even now, both Alfa Romeo guys, P2, P4 at the minute, looks like they have got everything past them and are looking to challenge for this pole and maybe both wins in the sprint and the feature, or the main race, sorry.
Yeah, we're just on board with the Scarlet Ferrari of Magic Graham, 88. He's a couple tenths down in the first sector, so it's not very ideal. So he's going to have to produce a very decent sector 2 here, which is a lot to gain up time through Maggots and Beckett's. Like you were saying, if you get this right, you can take it flat out, which he near enough does. Goes a little bit wide there onto Hanger Straight, so it's going to compromise his exit onto Hanger Straight. What you want to do is try and hug that right-hand corner and sweep in from the right to the left to try and get you that straighter exit, which will produce a much better line coming onto Hanger Straight. And we have Star Orphan, who's retired, and Willy Bum, so they are obviously not feeling that they can improve. And we've got Magic Graham just come back into the pits. So yeah, 3 minutes left. Star Orphans decides to pack his bags, and yeah, bit of a weird one that he wouldn't give it a go, but he might be saving his tyres, Crossbury.
Yeah, that's the only thing I can think of, is he's probably thinking of going for the softs in the sprint. I know you were saying to me earlier that they can make it. You only do need a 10 safety cars just to bring out the softs. So you can make it to the end, so he might be thinking that kind of way and try to save his mediums for the main race.
Let's just go on board with Epic Frenchie, cockpit view. Oh no, camera VR, sorry. Cockpit view. Just coming into the last sector now. Let's see how he takes this. Yeah, very, very good. It's slightly wide and he's gone over there. Lucky he didn't get a validation then. Across the line. It was good enough for P8, 26.60. He only improved by a tenth in the end.
I think he actually did invalidate there coming out of Vale.
Oh, he did?
See the track go red, and it has validated his next lap, so it must have just been on the very edge. It looked close.
So that, if it was a 10th and a half in front, that would have put him up to around Scotsman place. But we've still got Scotsman and McVitt still in the pits. If they're wanting another lap, they're going to have to try and get out now. But again, we've got Bluntblade, our P3 in the standings, gentlemen. He's down in 12th, so he's not a very good showing in his first flying lap around here.
No, it's definitely not what he would have wanted, especially after what happened last week, as we were saying. He'll probably be looking to try to push into the top 5. Saying that there's only 2 tenths to cover to that top 5, so it just shows how close this grid really is.
Do you think some of the pressure is getting to these drivers? The drivers that are in the top 3, top 4 of the championship, nearly halfway through the season, they know every time they come to a race now they've got to have a good result if they are wanting to be at that top step at the end of the year. Just talk us through how much pressure do you reckon these drivers are actually going through?
Oh, it's a massive amount of pressure. You know, I think everybody thinks they have to win every race, but we've actually found this year that it's consistency which is key. I think that's actually what's done it for Fox. I don't think he's won a... No, it wasn't Fox, I think it was... Sorry, I can't remember, but someone has not won a race, but they are up there in the top 3, top 4. So I think these guys just need to worry about their consistency. Just try not to get into any carnage or nothing like that. Just try to settle themselves down every weekend. And just try to be as consistent as they can. You know, it is going to be tough for them every weekend, week out, knowing that guys are hunting them down.
Yeah, correct. And just by saying that, we just had Mr. Lolface putting in an absolute blinder of a lap, 26.4. That's put him up into P3, only a 10th off pole. And we've got the Ferrari spinning round into turn... Oh, how's he done that? So he must have... Where has he done that? I don't know what... He's parked on the grass. To say you need to get going, otherwise you will be disqualified from the session. But yeah, he must have lit up his rears going onto the back straight, so not a good last lap for Magic Graham at all. We've got Mongo coming down at the end of Hangar straight, coming into the last set of corners now. Is this going to be good enough for provisional pole for the sprint race? Lovely, good set of corners there. Full throttle all the way to the line. It's going to be a 126 flats. What a lap by Mongo. So he's got 3/10 cushion. And McVitt has invalidated. So, and Bluntblade goes up into second. So that looks like, unless anyone else can beat him, Mongo is on pole for the sprint race. That's a bit of a shock.
Yeah, I wasn't really expecting him, to be honest. But I was really thinking Scotsman would have had a bit more pace in him. But he might just not enjoy this track. But it is nice to see, you know, the Alfa Romeo guys getting up there. I know Fox is on P7 now. But for the first, say, 10, 11 minutes, both P2, P4, and it just seems like Mongo has just found that extra bit.
Yeah, so we had our Bluntblade just put in a really, really good last lap. That's put him up into second. And another surprise for me, someone who's on very, very good confidence at the present moment in time, is Mr. David Lolface up into P4. So he's carrying his confidence over from Austria into Silverstone. P4 for him, not a bad result for the AlphaTauri driver.
Speaking to him earlier too, he did seem like he didn't think he had the pace, but obviously it is showing 4 tenths behind, which when you think about it, he's only 2 tenths behind P2, so he's going to definitely be up there for the sprint, and especially hopefully the main race would be nice to see for them.
Yep, so we have, that's our grid for the sprint race. We got Mongo in first, we have Blunt Blade and McVitt, both the Aston Martins together. We have David Longface in P4, Magic Cram in the Ferrari in P5, Tattoo Star Red Bull. We've got Fprl Fox in the Alfa Romeo in P7. We have the championship leader, Scotsman, in P8. It's not a very good showing from him. Fish Sticks in P9, Patronus P10. He's done very well since he's broken his hand, apparently. P11 is still 12 Epic Frenchie, P13 Star Orphan in the Abbey AlphaTauri. Michaels with a really bad show in their crossfit, down in 14th, so that's not what the Ferrari driver wanted going into the sprint race. Nasher and Willy Bum P15 and 16, Radical 17th. Skull Kid in 18, improving a little bit on his last time, just not good enough to beat Radical. And then we have the lovely Rainbow in P20. So going into the sprint race, Cross Girls, I was talking to you about this before going on to making the stream live. Strategy is going to be obviously the key to win the race today. We've obviously seen other tiers throughout this week suffering with really bad target degradation. We've had people with punctures. We've had people start the soft tyres in sprint. And it has worked for some drivers. What do you think most drivers will pick? And what strategy do you think that? Because obviously it connects with the race, doesn't it? So if you use a set of tyres, you won't get it for the race. So what do you think drivers are going to be picking for the sprint race?
I think probably the top 5 guys, they'll just probably go with the mediums, just to make sure they can make it to the end. Because I do know you were saying the softs are going to be touch and go or punctures, but the guys down, P8, P9, try to go for the softs, try to get the positions made up in the first couple of laps. Maybe hope out for a safety car to let them bring the tires to the end. You never know, maybe at the end of the sprint, might see them guys even push for a podium.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. Obviously, we've got the famous new turn 1 at Silverstone, not very new no more. But because the start grid's so close to turn 1, it's quite a tricky corner for passing. So these drivers are going to have to just be careful going into turn 1. Gradient of the corner will push you towards the left hand side, so just be careful of the drivers on the outside. Just make sure you give them quite a lot of room. Just don't forget you've got that big long straight that you're able to then pass them. So yeah, just be careful on a couple of corners, and I hope you've read all the trainers. It looks like the weather is nice and sunny, so I know we've seen Tier 3 had a wet race. I think, I'm not 100%. But lovely sunny Silverstone. That's not the normal.
So, for me personally, I hope it won't be the normal for the main race. It was nice to see a bit of rain, spice it up. We did see it last week. Gave them guys down who were lower the chance to fight. It'll be nice again to see it in the main race. Not for the full race, but just mix up a bit of the strategy towards the end of the race.
We've got Nigel Piggle saying, and turn 7.
Yeah, turn 7,
that
would be Luffield. So the car really does want to push out.
He's taking a Mickey, because that's where I lost my rear end and went into him, so ignore him. Yes, turn 7 is a tricky one. You can go side by side out there, but just remember, if you're on the left hand side, watch the curb, because if you've got the driver on the right who doesn't give you enough room, and if you spin that tyres out, you're going to go into him. And unfortunately, we had an incident during the week, and this happened, but it's racing. Right, and we're off on our formation lap. So, do you want to take us through the grid again then for the sprint race, Crossway?
Yeah, no problem. So P19 in the McLaren is going to be Rainbow. P18 Skull Kid. P17 is Radical in the Alpine. The second McLaren is Willy Bum in P16. And the second Haas, poor showing for the two Haas boys, is Nasha in P15. That's what you love to see. P14 in the first of the Ferraris, hoping probably for a better sprint race, is Michaels. P13 in the AlphaTauri is Star Orphan. P12 is Epic Friendship. P11 is Steel in the Mercedes. The Trump in P10 in the Alpine after his win last week should be hoping to get back to better ways, although he does have a broken hand, he says. And P9 second Mercedes is Fish Sticks. Our championship leader in the Red Bull is the Scotsman. P7 is Fprl Fox. P6 is Tattooed Star in the second of the Red Bulls. In P5 is Matt Graham in the Ferrari. David Lowface in P4 after P2 last week. P3 is McVitie's in the person the Aston Martins. P2 is Bluntblade in the second Aston Martin. It's a good showing for them guys. And on pole position for the sprint race in the second Alfa Romeo is Mongo.
Oh, so we've had Willy Bum Radical and Skull Kid all get disqualified, so something's happened now. I think I've just seen in chat that Skull Kid probably most likely hit Radical, and it looks like probably Skull Kid's hit Willy Bum also. So them three drivers at the back are going to have a really, really bad start due to the tyre temps. So let's have a look at the tyre situation. So everyone's gone against what you said. So the whole top 6 are all on soft tyres, and then we've got 3 drivers that are actually on brand new sets of mediums. So their medium drivers are going to be suffering big time for the first couple of races.
Yeah, it's
Lap site.
It's all going to come down to a safety car, I think. If we don't get a safety car, them 3 guys in the mediums are definitely going to, at the end, probably close into these guys. Make it a tight battle as we have someone reversing on the grid.
It's Frenchie, who obviously missed his box, and I'm not too sure what he's doing. Oh no. Oh no. Oh, you're going to get it in a minute, mate. Oh. Is he happy with that?
Doesn't look it.
Oh, he's been disqualified.
No.
And he's crashed, and he's taking his front wing off into the Mercedes. So I think that will be a lobby restart for this session. So if everyone can do a, yeah, so I believe it's a lobby restart. Let me just double check with Mr. Lolface.
Yeah, we aren't even getting any red lights, so it looks like whatever's happened to Frenchie, as I say that.
Oh no. Oh, I don't know. I'm actually looking at the paddock at the minute. Just waiting for Mr. Lolface to reply in the comms chat if possible. If he's hearing. So yeah, I'm not too sure what happened there. Looks like Epic Frenchie lagged out and then DQ'd. And decided to take off and hit one of the Mercedes. But yeah, I would lobby restart this, everyone. So please, obviously back out and the host make a new session. The lobby is pretty buggered, so we're gonna have to restart. All right, let's go back. So we'll be back in 2 seconds while we get this grid up and running. And welcome back. Sorry for the delay. We had to do a lobby restart in the end due to the fact that Epic Frenchie was trying to do some Michael Jackson moves in his car on the grid and it didn't work, so we had to restart the race. Another word, Skull Kid, try not to take 3 people out in the formation lap. Yeah, just be careful going on the formation lap. Just remember, people are still trying to warm up their tyres and brakes. But yeah, back at Silverstone, back with Crosscrete, little 5-minute break, and we're all raring to go for the sprint race. Do you think people are going to have second thoughts now, Crosscrete, about the tyre selections they chose in the first place? Obviously, we had 3 drivers on mediums. Them 3 drivers that started on the mediums, do you think they're going to change their mind now, seeing as that the whole grid was on softs? Or do you think they'll just stick with what they had?
Yeah, it's going to be a tough decision for both sets, the guys that were on the softs and the guys that were on the mediums. The guys on the softs might now think, can we actually make it? The guys on the mediums are now saying, we're not even going to have the pace now, to the point of we may as well gamble it on the softs. We're not going to use them in the main race. So it is going to be interesting to see, does anybody change up their strategy now?
Yeah, it's looking more sunnier now, less cloud, so obviously it's going to be a little bit hotter. It should be. So yeah, tyre temps and tyre deg is going to be a lot worse. I personally would still stick with the softs. It's not a race tyre you do not want. I think now we've had to restart. You'll gain all them soft tyres you used in the qualified anyway in the sprint. So you have got some sets for the race. So I would personally stick with the softs. But let's have a look. Let's have a look what people have gone with.
One guy has changed.
Let's have a look. So no, we've still got Fox and Patronus on medium. So we've had one person decide they wanted to go on, change the strategy and go on softs. So their medium ones are just going to have to take it careful going through the first couple corners and the start. They're obviously going to be slower than everyone else around them. First couple laps is going to be hard for them. Going to be a lot of defending, but again, the tyres should start coming into play around lap 5 and 6. So be patient with yourself and just go for it at the end. Okay, so let's go through the grid again. I'll do the bottom 10. So we've got Rainbow in the McLaren. 18, we've got Crash Door Skull Kid in P18. We've got Radical in 17. Fully Bum in P16. We've got Nasha in the Haas in P15. We have a disappointed Michaels down in 14th in the Ferrari. Stolfen in 13th. We've got Epic Frenchie in P12. We have Still in P11. And we've got the old Terminator with a broken hand, Patronus in P10.
We have Fishnix in P9 in the Mercedes. Our championship leader Scotsman in P8. We have Fox in P7. 2-star in the second of the Red Bulls in P6. Magic Ram P5. David Loveface in P4. McVitie's in P3. Second of the Aston Martin's Bloodblade in P2. And Mongo is going to be sitting on pole for the sprint race.
So I wonder what direction Mongo's going to be on the grid. Do you think he'll be pointing his car to the right hand side to try and defend, or do you think he'll try and keep it to the left hand side, knowing that it's going to be difficult for someone to pass him on the inside due to the gradient of the corner?
Probably just point it slightly right, just to try to block off Bloodblade if you do get a bad start, which it actually looks like he is going to do. To me, that's the smart decision. Just block off Bloodblade's line a bit to a point where if you do get a bad start, that you can force him a bit towards the wall, maybe make him back out into turn 1.
Okay, so 2 lights, 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights, and we are away for the Silverstone Grand Prix. We've got Mongo pulling over to the right hand side, and we have McVitie. It's had a brilliant start on the outside. Aston Martins are going side by side through turn 1 and 2. Coming into turn 3, and we've got a 5-second penalty for Radicals hitting Nasha. We've got Mivit and Blunt Blade battling for positions. Brilliant start by Mongo, so he keeps his first place. Just a little bit behind is David Larface, so he's kept himself out of trouble. We've got Scotsman who's actually made up 2 positions on the start, so really good start by him, Goscree, at the moment.
Yeah, great start for him. Just to point out, the 2 Mercedes that's just catching it there have collided, and it looks like Fishstick, he's actually just broke his front right end plate. And he's just tagged Willy Bum there. Willy Bum tried to look down the inside. He's just tagged Fishstick's right rear tire, just spun Willy Bum around. It's not going to be the start that he wanted either.
We've got three abreast here. We've got Skull Kid, Rainbow and Star Orphan coming up to Magus and Beckett. And we've got a move for Tattoo Star. So Blunt Blade's had a shocker here. He's gone from P2 down to P4. And we've got David spun round. Oh no, so the P4 that he had was going so well. He's lost it through the end of Magus and Beckett's onto Hanger Straight. So he's going to get himself away now, but it's P19 for David. So not a good start by him. And we've had a change for the lead. We've had McVick get past Mongo somewhere.
Yeah, I've just seen that there going down in towards Vale. He just got down the inside and Mongo was just squeezed towards the grass. It did leave his car wet, so it was a great move down the inside.
Yep, so very close battles at the moment throughout, and we've got Tattoo Star with a really good exit. He's on the back of Mongo, he's using his urge, he's going to dive on the left hand side, going to be side by side. Oh, it gives him a little bit of squeeze. Best way of doing it is going to cut back now, so that's what he's trying to do here. Get a perfect exit going up towards the old pit straight. But Mongo had a brilliant exit himself. Coming up to Cops and Magus and Beckett. A little bit wide there by Tattoo Star. He's actually gone off the track. And Willy Bum's crashed. How he's crashed there, I don't know. So it's a virtual stop. Oh, that's a really weird place to crash, Goscree. Just at the end of, just coming into left field.
Must have been a bit of contact with someone there. You know, it's not a place where you would lose the car on the rear, especially the DNF like that. It's definitely a weird one.
So that's made David go up to P15 just behind Rainbow. Some of these drivers are probably hoping for a safety car, but that just didn't happen. But at the end of the virtual safety car and everyone is away. Like Epic Frenchie caught Michaels out there and went for the inside move, but just closed the gap right at the end. We have still, let's just have a look at the position changes, the winners and who's the wooden spoon. So we've had a couple 3-place people up. We've got Tattoo Star up, 3-place Scotsman, and Still's just done a lovely move, and he outside of Fox. So brilliant move there by Still.
Yeah, it's one of the very few places I think around this track where you can go around the outside and make it stick. And it's just showed for Still, so he'll be looking to push on and try to catch up to Magic Ram.
Just behind this lot, Epic Finish has done an amazing move on Michaels round the outside, coming into left field and coming onto the old pit straight. So he's on the move himself up into P10. Again, like we were saying earlier, it's only the top 8 that gain points. So everyone is going to be flat out for the next 6 laps.
Yeah,
so again, top 3 are all close together. Do you think Mongo and Tattoo Star are going to bide their time, knowing that they're sticking within the DRS and try and make a late move?
Yeah, it's probably worthwhile for these 2 guys just to sit in behind McFits and just save up their ARS and just try to save a bit of tyres if they can. We do know how close it is going to be on the tyres if we don't get that safety car.
Mr. David Larface now up to P14, he's just past Rainbow, so he's on the move after a disappointing start. Had taken the spin on the first lap, just coming out of Magus and Beckett. Slightly wide there by Mongo, so he's going to lose a little bit to McVick, which is going to make Tattoo Star going to be more gearbox. The first DRS straight. Anyone disappointing you so far? Anyone who's on your positive list?
Barring any like collisions or anything like that. Probably going to be fish sticks. No, I did think he was going to be able to push up a bit more. I know he had the contact with his teammate, but I did think he might have tried to push up towards P5, P6 to the end of the race. It is nice to see Scotsman, our championship leader, pushing up, gaining 4 positions already, and on the back of his teammate. So he's probably hoping these 2 guys in front are battling. That'll allow him to catch up. He might just grab a wee podium or even a win if he can't hold his tires.
Yeah, and I've just seen that Mongo has no battery left. It's got 8%, still with 5 laps left. Tattoo 38 and McFit 24. So Tattoo Star's in a really, really good position here, seeing as he saved his battery.
Yeah, he's actually just dumped it all down the pit straight there, so now it's pretty even between the top 2. Probably just looking to get back into the DRS.
And here we have Bluntblade in P3 in the championship, and the championship leader fighting over 4th place. Brilliant exit there by Bluntblade. He's going to be able to get Scotsman here when the DRS flap opens and he has a little squirt. And Scotsman has no ERS either, so he's used a little bit on that straight. So Bluntblade just needs to bide his time and he will manage to get past Scotsman down the end of Hanger Straight. And we just say that we just got David Loweface is already past Skull Kid. So he's up into P13, 14 seconds behind. Yeah, not very good first lap for the old Care Bear. Osprey.
Oh, it's a shame to see. Yeah, it's one of my. He's one of my favourite drivers in this league, to be honest. And it is a shame to see how low down. I know there was a bit of collision. I didn't see it fully, so I'm not going to say anything on that. But I would have liked to see him push on from last week's result. But there is still the main race to go and get good points there.
Patronus on the back of Epic Frenzy. Epic Frenzy's made himself up into P9, so he has passed Patronus at some point. So again, Epic Frenzy up on the move, Crosscree. 1.5 seconds behind Fox.
Yeah, he's probably just going to try to push on here. Fox now, he's on medium, so this is probably going to be the turning point for him, where he will have the advantage over these soft runners. So these next 2 laps are going to be crucial for him.
And a lot of drivers getting 3 seconds already. So we've got P7 and P6 drivers on a 3-second penalty. So that's going to push them right down outside the points. And it's not going to bode well for them for their qualifying position for the race. There's a lot of learning there too. So 3 seconds in 6 laps in a 20-odd lap race is not a very good sign for them 2 drivers.
Yeah, I think the map works out about 12 seconds. They're going to go at that rate.
Oh, we got Magic Cram off. So he's just coming out of Cops and he hit the billboard. Caught himself on the curb on the left-hand side, power down, and he did what I did in turn 7, just lost the rear end. Lucky enough there isn't a wall there. Still able to continue, but that's made himself go down into P10. So he continues, Crossgree.
It's actually just interesting here, just looking at Patronus now, he's got 30% DRS, while Fetchy has nothing. Again, Patronus is one of them guys that are on the medium, so he should be looking to get past Frenchie here, probably in this next DRS straight. Try to push up towards Fox.
Yeah, to be honest, it's more spread out than what I thought it is. So at some point, Bluntblade has got past Scotsman, which was probably down the back of Hanger Straight. Then they've got nearly a 2-second gap to Mongo. Top 3 are very, very close at the minute. And then behind this, you've got a 2-second gap to Fox. So some of these drivers are losing quite a lot of time in 7 laps. Do you think this is just pure
Scotsman and
Scotsman's round? So that looked like Scotsman went for the move on the inside, I believe. Just correct me if I'm wrong, Crossgreen, but it looked like Scotsman went on the move on the inside and Bluntblade just squeezed him a little bit too much. Am I correct in that?
Yeah, I would say so. It just seemed like there was a bit too much of a squeeze on Scotsman, just the connection of the tyres just forced Scotsman to spin. But it doesn't look like it has phased him much. He is pushing straight back on the pace, really putting the pressure under Fox. coming out of Maggots and Beckett's.
Yeah, so he's going to go for the pass down here into Hanging Straight. So he's back up into P6, and Bluntblade's lost a position to steal now, so he's also fallen behind. So not a very good showing here by the P3 driver championship standings. Who else is having a good battle? We've got Patronus quite close to Epic Frenchie. Still Epic Frenchie still holding off Patronus for that last championship point that he'll get. That's it really, the rest is quite spread out. We've got Star Orphan on the back of Skull Kid now. Skull Kid's going to get passed here by Star Orphan. Made his way up into P13, but he's obviously... Oh, that's why. Star Orphan has no front wing end plate, so something's gone wrong there for him at one point. As you can see, guys on the stream, he's missing his front right end plate, and that's not going to help him at all through the tight, twisty corners of Silverstone. So back up at the front, we still have McVitt with 1 lap to go, with a half a second gap. He hasn't got any left. He's got 8%, but Tattoo Star has saved a little bit. So he's going to be able to push this lap and try and save a little bit for the last. Get a lovely slipstream with that DRS open. Just not enough straight. What you want to do, be about 4/10, 5/10 behind on that last corner before Hanging Straight at the end of Beckett to have that jump at the end of the Hanging Straight.
Yeah, be smart maybe here for Tattoo. Just save his battery now. You know, it's got 15% or so on the goose. He can just extend the DRS coming out of Beckett's and focus on getting a good exit there, and then he can dump his battery. He wouldn't have a good chance then to Stowe.
So just going back to Bluntblade, he was getting repassing himself and still, and they collided, and he lost a lot of time, which allowed Scotsman to catch up a little bit. But yeah, they've gone and cut tyres in the last 2 corners, and it pushed him really, really wide, so he had to slow down. Yeah, we've got Scotsman that's got DRS on Bluntblade, but let's just follow the top 2. 11%, and Taushar's got 27%, so what he needs to do now is start deploying it, which he hasn't even deployed it down that straight, which I thought he would have done. If he has got the cojones, he can always use it through Magus and Beckett. He's at that point now where he's about 4/10 behind, so he needs a really good exit here if he wants to win the sprint race, which he has done. He has opened the ERS and the DRS together. Lovely slipstream. Is he going to go down the inside? He switched to the inside and he makes his move on the Aston Martin.
McVitt is coming with a cutback.
Aston Martin is coming back with a cutback. Is he going to make it? He's going to go into the last 2 corners side by side, give each other room. Is Tattoo Star going to come for the cutback? Yes, he is, but just not enough grip on that inside, and McVitt takes the win in the sprint race, with Tattoo Star brilliantly coming into P2, Mongo P3, Bluntblade P4, Scotsman goes up to P5 due to Steele's penalty, Fox 6, Steele 7, Epic Frenchie makes it P8, so he takes the last championship point. Patronus was a P9, we got Michaels in P10, and Magic Cram is moved down to 11 due to penalty. We've got Fishsticks in P12, we've got David Lowface just coming around the last 2 corners now. He's kept his composure really, really well. Had to cast a couple of people, but P30 is still not a very bad result for David in the end. You know, he finished lower down in Austria, and he still finished P2. So, you know, if he's the careful person we know he is, buys his time, he can still get a podium today. He's fast enough to do that.
Yeah, you might have the confidence knowing that he's got through it a few guys. Might just been missed in the race. Push him on to try to make up more positions. But I have to say, it was a great finish to that race with the top 2 guys.
It was very, very, very exciting, and this is why I like watching the sprint races, because it's all low fuel, you're on the faster tyre, and you are full pelt. There's no worry about saving fuel, saving tyres. It's a short 9-lap sprint, bam. And it's full-on racing, and it was brilliant racing by McVitt and Tattoo. So NBU for that one. Gave each other lovely space through Hanger Straight and the last few corners. Tatesar just didn't have enough traction in that cutback, but brilliant move by McVitt, and he sticks it on pole for the upcoming race. So there we go. There's our top 8 with their points finishing. So we got McVitt, Tatesar, Mongo, Blunt Blade, Scotsman, Fox, Steel, and Epic Frenchie. Let's see what the weather is now. Let's have a look. Fingers crossed it's not raining for everyone.
Yeah, when I see the lobby set up, it did look pretty clear. I think these guys have got away with it.
Then. Yeah, pretty clear. There you go. So just talk us through to the viewers what strategies you think is the best going into this Grand Prix, due to the fact that it's a very high tide egg. We've had punches through the week. We've had a lot of people with tyre management still not making it to the end and having to box twice. So just run through people, what the best option you think is for these drivers.
Well, I know the one stop is there is a chance to do it, but it really does rely on really looking after your tyres. I think if you're starting on the mediums, I think it's in around lap 13, you're looking to pit onto the hards. It'll be kind of 50-50 between the two stints. But if you can't look after your tyres, then you're just straight away onto the two stop. For the guys that were on the softs in the sprint, they'll have the two sets of mediums to go on to. They could go medium, hard, medium. Easier for them.
Do you think we'll see people start on the softs or save set of softs for the end, due to the fact that they would have gained the tyres up that they lost in qualifying because of the lobby restart?
Yeah, they'll all be thinking of that towards, I'd say, lap 20 or so. But if you're going for the two-stop strategy, I wouldn't even consider the softs. You're getting maybe 3-4 laps out of them, and then they really do start to die off.
Yeah, and I think I agree with you that one. I think the medium tyre is probably the best tyre to start up, due to the fact that if a safety car comes out earlier on for the hard tyres, then that's going to not do well for obviously the rest of the race. It gives the people behind the advantage to take a free pit stop, go on them hards, and then put on a set of mediums at the end. So it swings both ways. But again, you just got to think about the long game. Very hard tide deck, low traction track. So yeah, it's going to be a hard one to judge. And going by the rest of the tiers, it was a mixed up grid on tier 2 with tyres. We had the front two people. We had one on medium, one's on hard, and we had people behind. We had people for a tier 1, all on mixed strategies. And obviously on Wednesday we saw a lot of, I think we saw 2-3 people have punches because they brought out an early safety car. It's either safety car or they crashed, and they tried doing, I think, the hards to the end, and it just didn't work out. They got punches on the last lap.
Yeah, I think that's going to be a cause for concern for these guys that are starting on the mediums. If there is an early safety car, do they want to push it on the hard and risk that, or would they rather just feel safe, go on another set of mediums, and just go on to either the soft or the hards at the end of the race?
Yeah, like you were saying, you could go, if there was an early safety car, you could go medium, hard if you wanted to. So it's hard to judge, isn't it? Because you got in that head when you're driving. Even if a virtual safety car comes out in, I don't know, lap 8 or 9, should I pit? It's half a pit stop, but then if a safety car comes out in 2 laps time after that, that is really buggered you. So it's going to be difficult for these drivers to judge when to pit. I think a lot of these drivers will wait to the people in front to pit. Then you kind of get a right gauge on when to start pitting and what lap times.
Yeah, I think it will be a case of just the first one goes, the rest will follow.
So predictions. So going by the sprint race, you saw obviously McVitt high in confidence from his P3 finish. in Austria. It's just now got P1 after starting P3. What's your predictions for the race? Who do you think is going to be on the podium this evening?
I definitely think McVett will be on the podium, but something about Tattooed Star, I enjoyed the way he drove in that sprint race. Just fancy him for the win itself. For P3, I would go for Bluntblade. You know, he had a bit of unfortunate happenings in that sprint race. I think if he can just get past that and keep himself clean, he'd be definitely fighting for that podium.
So if you want to just take us through the bottom 10, and then I can take you through our bottom 11, I can take us through the top 10.
No worries. So in P19 is Radical. P18 in the McLaren is William. P17 is Nisha. P16 in the AlphaTauri is Stars Orphan. P15 in the Haas is Skull Kid. P14 in the McLaren is Rainbow. P13 is David. P12 is Fishsticks. And in P11 in the Ferrari is Magic Round.
Yep, so P10 we have Markles. P9 we have Patronus. P8 we have Epic Frenchy. P7 we have Steel. P6 we have Fox. Scotsman in P5, we have Bluntblade in P4. P3 is Mongo. P2 is Taxite. And P1 is Mavit. Just going by the grid, I am really looking forward to this fight between Bluntblade and Scotsman. Both in the top 3 in the championship. We have our championship leader in 5th and P3 in the championship in 4th. Obviously got a bit feisty in the sprint race. Who do you think is going to win out of this battle today?
For me, I would say Bluntblade, personally. Just, I think he has a bit more in him, fire, a bit more determination, especially after what happened to him last week. I mean, the past couple of weeks he hadn't had the best luck. I think maybe this week that fire in will just light and probably get himself a podium at least.
So just going by the tyres, top 5 people on hards, 6, 7, 8 and 9 on 6, 7 and 8 on mediums, Patronus on hard and Markle's on medium. So these 4 end drivers are going to put these top 5 under pressure.
It's really going to throw up things if we do get an early safety car here.
Yes, it will do. It will do, and it's going to bring an exciting race. I do like Silverstone, and it brings a lot of opportunity for overtaking. So if you want to take us through the first lap cross street.
Oh, if I can get a half decent camera angle.
If you go on Bluntblade, it gives you quite a decent one.
Doesn't even look like we're getting any lights now.
Don't say that.
This night just isn't going to plan, is it?
Are we waiting on anyone? No, we're not, are we?
No.
Anyone?
Now Michaels is on pole. Don't know if that's just for me, but it has Michaels by P1.
Again, this may be a lobby restart once again if this doesn't sort itself out. Because to the viewers, Michael is definitely not on pole. He's actually in 10th.
We actually just check if Epic Frenchie's actually parked it in his box, which he has.
Oh, no, it was Michael's. Michael's had a problem.
So
yeah,
5
take us
lights. And we're away from the British Grand Prix. Fitty does look have a good start. Went behind Tattooed was looking for it. Bluntblade as well, now down the inside of Mongo. And there's contact out of turn 1. It was Tattooed Star, which was an absolute train wreck down at the bottom. That is not what you want to see.
That is going to be a saved car. Poor old Tattooed Star got knocked around. Nasha had nowhere to go and ended up colliding with Tattooed Star. So that was a very, and I think that was Scotsman and Tattooed Star, because Scotsman has dropped down to P12. So something happened there. I'm not too sure what that was all about. Couldn't really see it, to be honest.
Doesn't seem to have any damage on his front wing, so I don't know, is it just trying to avoid everything that he's just lost all the positions, or has he just made contact and got away with it?
So not a very good start. It's actual virtue safety car.
Very
that
surprising.
was quite surprising. But look at that. P9 for Davies, up 4. So he has been the person who's jumped the most alongside Willy Bum. So brilliant start there by David. Kept his nose out of trouble on the medium tyres. So he's going to be going for it now. We also have, I think Michaels has got problems because he's got no times on his screen. So I'm not too sure if he's in AI mode or not. But the virtual safety car has ended. We have Fit, Mongo and Bluntblade making a bunch of positions up on the restart. So he's now up to P1. And all the timings are still trying to sort themselves out. According to our screen, Mongo is a minute and 43 behind. So I'm hoping this is the actual grid we are looking at and it's not all mixed up.
It's hard to tell with this game. It's just got a few problems that still need to be fixed. We've seen a few of them tonight. As we actually have Steele looking around the outside of Patronus, around Brooklands. So we probably will look for a cutback here in the field. We've had tried it, but Patronus did cover that inside line. So it's good to fit from Patronus in that out. Steele has got the actual better exit going towards Cobbs. Don't dare look for him down at Cobbs. You'd be silly if you try it.
Yeah, he's on the lovely fresh set of mediums. So we have got Steele on the hard. So he is going to suffer for the first couple of laps. And we've got Michaels joining on the action also just behind him, which got a really, really good exit. He's used some of his battery up on this state, but we have still going on the inside of Patronus. Very, very good move there. And off he goes. He's on his way to catch Epic French, who's had a brilliant start in P5. So he's actually put and made the use of these medium tyres, Crossbury, from P8 to P5, and he's actually now putting a lot of pressure on Fox, and he also gets the fastest lap.
Yes, we have two McLarens at the back on slow, so I don't know, is there a contract between them two or something, but I don't know what's going on between them two guys. It's not a good showing for them. It's actually interesting. Mongo's really keeping the pressure on McVitie's not allowing him to get away. So it'll all depend on the next couple of laps. Can McVitie try to push that gap over the second, or will Mongo just stick in that DRS and just not make life hard whatsoever?
Yeah, no, Michael's had a very, very slow start. Obviously, he left the session, come out. He's now made himself way up into P7 with Patronus and David Lowface lurking in the background with his best friend Fishsticks behind him. So he's having a good showing. He really needs a good result here. Fishsticks just got up his confidence a bit. He has been a bit on the laggard side the last couple of races.
It'd be nice for him. Just even a couple of points might push that confidence up for him. You know, he still does have the pace with these guys. There's nothing worse than going 5-6 races without points. It can get very frustrating.
Have a move here for Star Forfeit on Radical, going side by side. And Starford has been passed by Radical, so Radical keeps P12, so again, good start by him. Got Michaels on the move now. He's set the new fastest lap of the race, but again, it's so close between the top 7, and a little bit of a gap between Bluntblade and Mongo. And like you say, Mongo still keeps the pressure on McVitie here, and DRS is helping him keep him up.
Going to be interesting here with Fox now on the mediums. He's the first runner on the mediums. Can he try to push past Blunt? Surprised he actually hasn't been able to. I don't know, is it a case of it's too warm or track's too hot that the tyre deck's just that bad? The block plate just got that pace on the hard tyres.
Yeah, hopefully he'll be able to make the move. He's going to have to do it soon. He's probably got, I would say, probably 3 or 4 laps left before they start degrading and the hard tyres start going. So he's got a brilliant run out here out of Beckett. coming onto the hanger straight, and he's done a lovely move on Blunt Blade, and that puts Fox up into P3. So it's Alfa Romeo 2 and 3 at the moment, and we've had a move again. We've had Fish Sticks take over a P9 from David. So at some point, I think David made a mistake. He was only about a second behind, and he dropped to about 2 seconds behind Jonas. Got another move at the back of the grid. And Magic Graham making a move on Skull Kid. I'm not too sure what happened to Magic Graham, but he's fallen 3 places from the start. I'm not too sure if he got caught up into the turn 1 position, and we have Willie Bum in the McLaren, unfortunately retire.
Not nice to see these guys return so early. I know the frustration will be hitting them hard, but you never know. You might get a safety car could push you back into this race. You know, you can never say never. I've seen that last week with David.
Just going to stop you there. We've got Scotsman and David going side by side through this corner. Coming onto the old pit straight. David's using a lot of his battery. Going up to Cops now. Who's going to lift? So David's having to lift off a little bit just to let Scotsman go through. So I don't know if David's really suffering or he's doing tyre management at the minute, but he's got a couple of positions the last couple of laps.
Yeah, you probably notice it maybe in a couple of laps time if he still has the pace on the other medium guys, or if it is he is really just struggling in general. Will be something to keep an eye out as Scotsman overtakes Fish Sticks around the outside of Stowe as well. So he's definitely on the mark.
Yeah, he's trying to make up, lost the time. Obviously, I think he got caught up in the turn 1 incident. Weren't too sure if it was him or he just had to go wide to avoid it. But he's on the move now, and again, still, like we was talking about in the sprint race, he was one of the drivers within 6 laps that got a 3-second penalty. So it's not a very good start penalty-wise for Steele.
No, it's not what you want, but it is one of these tracks you can quite easily overextend it. Just a bit too wide in Cops, or even still at the exit. It's very easy to pick up them ones, and they all add up pretty quickly.
So at the front, we have McVitt. He's actually pulled out a whole 7 tenths on Mongo in the last couple of laps. He has used a lot more battery than Mongo behind. Surely there's no need to use the battery while you're obviously in front. We want to try and harvest it as much as possible, seeing as he's not being attacked at all at the present moment.
Yeah, for me it'd be just saving the battery, as we have Blunt Blade looking the eye up Fox coming around the outside of Stowe yet.
Oh, free abreast. Going around the outside, brilliant move there by Blunt Blade, round the outside of Fox. I wonder if Fox now starting to struggle in the traction change with his medium tyres. He got the move made a couple of laps ago. He's now looks like he's starting to suffer. He's got the hard tyres all around him. But again, Epic Frenchie's still sticking there on the mediums. He's only just behind Blunt Blade in P3, less than a second. So he's making these medium tyres last at the moment very, very nicely.
Yeah, probably push this one a bit more. Because if he could try to hit lap 14, get that in pressure hard. It doesn't look like he's struggling whatsoever with these guys on the pace. He could even try to follow, a couple of cars ahead, but if he could try to get through these two, Steele and Fox, to push on with Blunt, be nice for him.
And I'm not too sure what's happened to Mongo. He's dropped right off the back of McVitt, and he's putting himself right into the path of Blunt Blade, and Blunt Blade is megally on the move here. He's only 2 tenths behind, so Mongo is at this point in the Grand Prix is really, really struggling.
Yeah, this will be the turn of the tyres. They're not as nice and fresh as you'd want them. You'll start to lose the grip that you're not used to. It's just all about trying to control the car with these kind of conditions. It will be hard for these guys. It's just looks like Blunt Blade a bit more experience in that kind of direction. He'd be definitely eyeing up Mongo here. Try to get past as quick as he can and close into McVitt.
Yeah, it's getting to the point in the Grand Prix where all the drivers are going to be trying to think about what their strategy is going to be in about 4 or 5 laps time. Then all the medium runners will start thinking what tyres are going to go on next. They'll be wishing for a safety car, which will help them out and really bugger up the hard tyre people. But at the minute, apart from turn 1, it's looking pretty clean so far for the Tier 4 drivers.
Yeah, it's always good to say it's good close race and everybody else giving themselves room. So we're saying Steele just go around the outside of Fox at Brooklands. Can he hold it? Looks like he has. Can Fox go for a cut back at Lovefield? It's all depending on this exit here. Steele has got a bit of a wobble. Bang. Just good enough of an exit for Steele. Do not worry about Fox for now.
No. The thing he's got is Marcus picked himself up a 3-second penalty, so that's not good for his chances at all, as he's in the middle of this pack. And Steele's got another penalty, so in 8 laps he's got 6, so still you need to calm it down just a little bit, otherwise at the end of the Grand Prix you're going to have quite a decent amount of penalties to your name. We've got Michaels also on the move again. He's overtaking Epic Frenchy, so Epic Frenchy is biding his time. He's not fighting too hard. He's going for the inside move. No, so he's 86. So he's happy to stay P7. He's obviously on an alternative strategy to all the hard tyre runners. But as long as he can keep up with this pace and with the people in front, he's in a good position to be on the podium today.
Yeah, he is looking. He has the pace with these guys. As he just makes contact with Blunt.
Oh dear.
First strikes.
Bit naughty from Steele. He saw the gap too late, and obviously Blunt Blade would have been turning at that point. He's just waiting for the traffic to go past, but that has really, really damaged his hopes of getting a good result into the top 10, especially when he's got 6 seconds to his name. So let's put a little bit of a breather on Blunt Blade. But again, we've got Michaels and Epic Frenchy still on the back of him. We've got McVitt all up in front, all on his own, 3.3 seconds in front of Mongo. Still's picked up another 3 seconds, so he's on 9 in 9 laps. Yeah, so McVitt, I think he may have listened to us. He's trying to save his battery. It's got up a little bit, but not much. It's very hard to gain battery back on here, seeing as you're on. I think they said something like 80% full throttle for most of the track. So it's a very hard track to gain your battery back. So these drivers that are saving their battery, they're going to be really, really good, as long as they're not safeguard towards the middle and end of this race.
Yeah, probably looking here, guys. Like Blunt, he's got 40%. They can use that wisely. You know, he'll try to push up back past Fox. He was having a great battle with Mongo. Just before he got caught with Steele, he looked around the outside of Stowe. I don't know if there was a bit of contact, but Mongo did defend it well. He definitely has the pace to try to catch up to McFitz if he can. Get past these 2 Alfa Romeos.
So the person on the move at the minute, I've been watching over the last couple of days, is David Lowface. So he dropped off a couple of seconds from this group in front, and now he's only 5 tenths behind. So to be honest, from P10 to P3, it's separated by about 4 seconds, which is nothing. That is an undercut here. So I would say probably from P10 downwards, Cosbury, or upwards, anyone here at the present moment is on a chance of a podium.
Yeah, it's as you said earlier with David, you know, he just keeps himself to himself and he just races his own race. And it does look like it is going to benefit him in this race at the minute. As he has a big slide coming out of Beckett's. He has gathered it up well. That won't do any good for those rear tires. So it might be time just to get them off.
We've got Michaels and Blunt Blade here, battling for position. And Michaels on the medium tyres has made that move stick. So he's doing very well on 11 lap old medium tyres compared to Blunt Blade, who's on the hards. But then you've got every French on the medium tyres. So at the present moment in this race, medium tyres, the sort of tyre you should have started on.
Yeah, at the minute, all these guys that are on the mediums seem to be pushing up through the field pretty well. Just interesting to see there, Fox, he's just pitted off them. You just said about an undercut. We'll see how big of an undercut it really is. Can he get past his teammate whenever he decides to pit off their hogs? Can he even try to push towards McFitz? Gonna have so much more pace.
So where was Fox before he pitted? What position was he?
P3.
The B3. So if Mongo's not careful, Fox can do the undercut on him on this lap or the next lap. I think the undercut's worth about 3.5 seconds. He wasn't that far behind, so I would expect Mongo, if he wants to protect his P2, to maybe come in. But again, he's on hard, so again, it's a tough decision. Is he going to play the long game, or is he going to? Is the pressure going to get to him? He's going to have to pit.
Yeah, it doesn't help when your teammate does that to you. But it's probably going to see it in the next 3-4 laps. Because we have Michaels coming into the pits as well.
Yeah, Michaels is coming in. We have Scotsman just past Epic Frenchie up to P4. So he's on the move. He's had a very, very decent race so far with his turn 1 shenanigans. Again, that'll be reviewed after the race. Not too sure what happened there, but he's made himself up to P4. We have Fish Sticks in the pits, Michael's in the pits. So Fish Sticks decided to get rid of the medium tyres. Let's just take a look at his stop. See how well the Mercedes crew can. Ah, and he's got wing damage. Ah, so he was actually producing a very, very good race stint, seeing as he had wing damage.
Yeah, you would never have thought he had the wing damage with the pace that he was producing. But it's actually pretty interesting to see what kind of pace can he do now on fresh hards with a fixed wing.
So that is unleashed Mr. Lolface to Patronus. So Patronus won't have DRS anymore. So let's just see what Mr. Lolface can do. These are most important laps of the medium runners, so you're going to want to try and, if you have saved a lot of tyre or battery, these are the laps you're going to want to push. So let's just talk about Vit. He's up in front, still using his battery, but comfortably, Goskry, 4.5 seconds in front. So he has got that undercut covered. Yeah. Especially if there's a safety car that comes out.
You would say so by now, as Mongo picks up a 5-second for speeding in the pit lane, which isn't going to do him any favours.
Goskry, can you just press the middle button on your Xbox? Not too sure. Crackling apparently.
Is that any better?
People let us know if that's any better. Yep, it's gone. Great. So yeah, who's pitted, you say? So we have David, Mongo, all Piers, Golkid's got a 5-second penalty coming into pits. That pit lane entry is very, very difficult because you're coming in at full whack and the line, you can't really see the line at all. So it is literally, you have to slow down so much. Have you ever had trouble with the pit entry at Silverstone?
Yeah, big time. It's near enough every time I pit. Then I'm either stupidly slow or it's 5 seconds guaranteed. I just can't seem to get my braking point right at all for it.
So, with Mongo pitting really early on the hard tyres, is this going to force Vic to pit earlier than what he expected? Because he'll be probably about 1.5-2 seconds quicker a lap once he gets his tyres warmed up. Do you think it's going to force Vic into an earlier pit stop than what he suggested? Or do you think Mongo will be going for a 2-stopper? He's only managed to make the hard last 13 laps and he's still got another 12 laps left in medium.
I think Fitz knows that Mongo's grabbed that 5 seconds, so he's got a 9-second advantage over Mongo. He still has probably about a 4 or 5 second advantage over Fox as well, so he can afford to push out these hearts.
And he's got a 3-second time penalty also added to his name, so it's not good for Mongo at all at the minute. Epic Frenchie's just coming out of the pits now. Let's see where he's come out in. Has Mr. Lolface got up any positions here? So he's gained a lot, David, of pitting earlier. couple laps earlier on the hard, he has gained 2 seconds on Epic Frenchie. So it's worked out quite well for David.
Yeah, it does seem like the undercut has worked out for him. There's still a few guys in front still to pit. I think it was he was battling Patronus, so there's at least 2 or 3 positions.
And we've got Scotsman on the move now in the hanger straight. Lovely slipstream with Blunt Blade. These two guys had a little bit of a tussle in sprint race. What's happening here? He goes for this. Oh! That was close.
I think there might have been contact. It was good.
Oh, he had very, very good reactions there, and that could have put Blunt Blade in the wall. But again, that's no one's fault. You know, you don't know if that person's going to go in the pits or not. So, you know, that was very, very close and good reactions by Scotsman. And we have got McVitt in the pits. So let's see if Mongo jumps him. Again, he has got 8 seconds on his head. So that's not very, very good for Mongo either. So he's going to probably be wishing for a safety car. And here comes Mongo around. He's just going to be right behind him. 3 tyres. So yeah, he gained 5 seconds in 2 laps. So right, that's 2 seconds a lap.
It's pretty interesting to see the acid double stack. Didn't look like Blunt Blade had lost too much. As we actually have Mongo down the inside of like that at Brooklands. Does seem like he's outbraked himself, but he has held that position.
And we've also got Fox on the move on them hard tyres. Epic Frenchie has taken a position to Blunt Blade. So he's also now past Blunt Blade, and Epic Frenchie is on the hard. So Blunt Blade is going to have a mega stint here if he is to have a very, very good result. So I believe we are still waiting for Radical, Patronus and Scotsman, and Magic Cram are the only drivers that have not pitted. Do you think these 3 drivers at the front are waiting for a safety car, or you just genuinely think that they're able to, they're just biding their time?
I'd say they're probably hoping on a safety car here now. It just went around again. So it's the only, realistically, it is the only way they stand a chance of winning in the race. So it's not a bad chance to take.
Radical's picked up a 5-second penalty for pit lane speeding. Not good for him at all. Seems he's doing a very, very good solid race up into P3.
Adds Gary's looking for tyres.
What does he want tyres for?
God knows.
He only wants it to help whoever he's helping, which I'm guessing is going to be a couple of drivers. So, of the request from old Sputnik, here is the tyres. So again, we've got a mixture on the grid of medium and hards. Again, like I was saying, we've got 3 drivers that still have not pitted. But these hard running people of Starfin, Fishsticks, David Alvey, Steele, Epic Frenchie, Fox Michaels, they're all in a good position to have good results. I just don't think these medium tyres will last to the end. They pitted around lap 11, 12 and 13. I just don't think if they are going to last, they're going to be right on the limit. Right on the limit.
Yeah, I think it might have been a bit too early to get onto that medium, especially for Mongo. I would say he's going to be one to definitely look out for. But saying that, Magic Ram has made 15 laps on the medium. So it is worth it. It is worth doing. Scotsman goes on to the softs.
Really?
So does
He's
Mongo.
brave, isn't he?
Oh, sorry, so does Patronus.
Very brave.
We did see in the sprint that it is 9 laps, so it can be done, but it will be tight at the end.
Will be tight. Let's see where Scotsman comes out just behind Blunt Blade. So he didn't actually lose too much time to Blunt Blade. Pitting, what, 5 laps later. So that's worked out quite well for Scotsman there, Chris.
Yeah, especially now that he's going to have such a tyre advantage on these guys for about 4 or 5 laps. He can get past these 2 pretty quickly. Try to push him as much as he can towards Frenchie to get the...
Yeah. Talking about Frenchie, at the present moment, he's on course He's just slightly out of it by about a second. He's on course for a podium finish here if he picks up the pace a little bit. You've got Mongo with 8 seconds and Michael's on a 3. About 4 seconds behind Michael's. So if he keeps going at this pace, he's going to have a good result for himself here today.
Yeah, but he does have blunt blade all over his rear wing now going down the hanger straight. Friends, he has no batteries, so we are going to go 3 wide down in the stow.
Brilliant move
tries to
there
look down
by
the inside.
Is blunt blade going to stick to his guns? Is he going to brake later than Scotsman? Yes, he does. They nearly clear. That's Scotsman through. Brilliant move there by Scotsman. Two cars in one go. Brilliant move there by the Red Bull driver.
Exactly what they needed. Trying to get through these guys on them fresh softs. Try to push on up towards Foxconn. Got 3 seconds to him, but once he gets there, definitely for the podium.
Yeah, another 2 drivers I'm looking at also. You've got David and Fishstick. Comfortably P9th and 10th. You've got 2 drivers in front on penalties. You've got 4 drivers in front on penalties. And you have a lot of drivers in front of them that are on the medium tyres and the soft. So these 2 drivers are in a good position to get a good result. Maybe not a podium, but a very, very good top 7-6 result if they continue showing their pace.
Yeah, I think them guys could be maybe hoping for a late safety car. Make sure them penalties come into play for them.
Anything happening at the back of the grid? No, we've got Magic Graham, who's had a very disappointing race so far, back down in 14th. We have Skull Kid down in 15th. And we have the lovely Rainbow still going round.
Patronus looking for a move down the inside of the fish sticks.
And he's got him. In the hang is great. Brilliant move. Past that by Scotsman. The Scotsman has got past Blunt Blade at F20, but he hasn't pulled a big gap on Blunt Blade here, but he's still within DRS of Scotsman. So are these drivers up front holding Scotsman's performance back a little?
Well, he has just caught 2.5 seconds in that last lap once he got past Blunt Blade and Frenchy. So if he can do the same here and hope that Blunt Blade gets held behind, I think Scotsman could be, even dare say, try to push for a win.
Scotsman's got a very, very good exit here. Here they're going to go side by side for Cox. No, they don't. But Fox has gone wide. They're going to go side by side. No, Fox is back up a little bit. So Scotsman's up into P4. He is on the move. So at the minute, Scotsman's on a good chance of getting P2, maybe even P1 at the moment.
Will be holding Scotsman back is his battery. He's down at 8%. Saying that the top 4 are all in around that same position, so they're going to be down to tyres.
I envy Rainbow. He has used no battery at all this whole race. Good lad. 97%. So if your safety car comes out, mate, you've got a very good chance of getting a good result. We've got Fox and Blunt Blade battling here. Oh, a bit tentative there on the hard tyres. Blunt Blade's going to get a good exit here, but Fox has got DRS from Scotsman. So he's going to be able to defend. It's going to force Blunt Blade to use most of his battery to get past, which he did. And Blunt Blade's picked up a 3-second penalty. So that's his second penalty of the race. That has not done him any good, Crosskey.
No.
Especially for his championship hopes.
No, definitely not. No, that's kind of pushing him down towards P8, P9 area. So it will be. Again, as you were saying earlier with David and Fairsticks, this is kind of the stuff that they'll be looking for to try to take advantage of these penalties.
Yeah, and we've got David on the move at the minute. He has he caught up to Cronus, or has he lost position to Cronus? I can't remember.
think he might have lost the position to Patronus. I don't think we've caught that.
No. So again, very, very tight up in the top 6, all separated by about 10 seconds. 3 drivers on really, really big penalties. So this podium position is going to be very, very feisty towards the end. All these drivers can be pushed into the match to try and get that podium position. Anyone from probably, I would say, Epic Frenchy can all get a podium here. Again, we just don't know how the tyre's going to last. We've got Scotsman, P3, and we've got McVitt and Mongo and Bluntblade. Are these tyres going to last to the end? Let's wait and see. And we've got Mongo. Fox is on 10 lap old hard, so they're going to come to the point where they're going to be not very good towards the end.
Definitely still a lot to play for. Bluntblade isn't letting Michaels out of his grasp. Just follow him through the cup, so he'll probably be looking for a good exit out of Beckett's. Deploy his battery with DRS should be an easy move down the hanger straight. Be getting him well before Stowe.
Yep, DRS wide open. He's going to have a squirt of battery here. Marcus has no battery to defend. Bluntblade's on the inside. Up into P4 for him. He's going to have to now push like mad to get a good result here. As soon as he's got 6 second penalty hanging over him. He's got 2.5 second gap to Scotsman. Michaels, Fox and Epic Frenchy all follow close suit. Anyone so far that's impressed you in this race? I have been very impressed by Vit again. He controlled it from the start. He kept his head down. Looks like his time management and his strategy has been very, very good. And we've got sector 1. We have the yellow flag. Now it's gone. But yeah, I've been impressed so far with Vit.
Yeah, it's been a very dominating drive, I'd just say, from him. Definitely, there's no one else there, it seems, in the field that can really do much to catch up. But one guy I do have to point out is probably going to be Michaels. You know, he's gained 5 positions from the start. He does have the penalty, which is better to him. He's been battling his way through this day. It hasn't been easy for him. It is nice to see at least one of the rise up there.
And we've got Scotsman on the back of Mongo, going for the P2 position. Brilliant move by Scotsman. Has he got enough time to catch it? Let's wait to see. It is still possible, but he has 6 seconds to catch up. Do you think he'll do it, Crosby?
6 seconds before a lap. It's gonna, I think it'll need a miracle. I think softs are just gonna die off in this next lap or two. Will make it really hard for Scotsman, which might even push Mongo to be battling Scotsman. Try to take back at least P2 on track.
At some point, we've had Epic Frenchy go back as also. We've had Still make a move from him. So maybe his tyres, hard tyres, are starting to wear off for him also. Oh, there's a lovely slide coming out of there. But yeah, falling back down, so his podium aspirations are fading away now. I think at some point we've had, it's because Skull Kid pitted. Yeah, so his medium tyre, his hard tyres didn't last, so he's gone on to a set of softs. So yeah, it's a bit worrying for these other medium drivers if they've been able to keep the tyre edge, to be honest. Mongo's going to be right in the bubble with 13 laps. It's going to be very, very high. Oh, we've got Fox and Still picking up more penalties.
Now Frenchie's got the 5 guys ahead of him, all with penalties.
Yeah, so we've got Still on 12 seconds. We have Fox on 3, Michaels on 3, Blunt on 6, and Mongo on 8. So it's going to be close with Epic Frenchy being on the podium. It's going to be very, very close. He just needs that pull, that extra little bit. to get that podium position. As long as you don't get a penalty yourself, he's going to get some good points here today. And we've had Fishsticks pass David Alolface in the AlphaTauri and the Mercedes. That was obviously done down into in the Panga Straight. Looks like David maybe now suffering with tyre wear himself. The Magic Fram again picks up another penalty. That's 12 seconds for him. So that all these penalties are... And Scotsman gets a penalty, 3-second warning. So Mavit is in the driving seat now of a very, very good 6-second result here, Oscar.
Yeah, now he's seen 3 seconds on the Scotsman. He can relax now. He doesn't have to push that car whatsoever. And just cruise it to the finish line.
We've got Fox on steel. These guys are battling out for the last end of points due to the fact they've got penalties, and you've got Epic Friendly just behind now. He's just got to bide his time, but he's going to have to try and get past these guys as soon as possible if he's wanting a podium position here today at Silverstone. But it's been a very, very enjoyable race, to be honest. Not as much overtaking as I thought there was going to be, but that is down to probably due to clean racing. There's been no safety cars apart from the first lap, first corner incident, and the field just spread out from then.
Yeah, it's always good to see the clean racing. To be honest, I'm a bit surprised there hasn't been a safety car. Just not with contact or anything, but just guys, you know, maybe getting a wheel on the curb the wrong way, it spits the car out into the wall. But as I say, it's always nice to see guys giving good close hard battles, giving enough space, especially in the corners that, you know, going into Brooklands, it's always one of them, the car on the inside does like to push out. But we have seen a few moves down in Brooklands that has been pretty clean.
So, just watching this battle for the P8 and P7. It's our closest battle on track at the present moment. We've got Epic Frenchie trying to reel in Fox in his next clean lap, and he's going to get a decent result here. So he has driven very well. We have sector... Oh, what's happened there? What's happened there?
It might have, I know McVitie's was coming up towards the lap car, so it might have just been the lap car that triggered it.
Ah, okay. Yeah, it looks like it was Alan, probably getting out of the way. But on our last lap now, as long as he can keep it on track, brilliant drive by McVitie. 4.5 seconds, no need to push on the last lap, just take it easy and bring it home. I'm just excited to see where Frenchie is going to be in all this, especially with all the pens up in front. It's going to be very close, as Mongo's on 8 seconds. So I don't know. It's going to be close. It's going to be very close. He's only 2 tenths behind Fox, so getting past him will help. Sector 2, we also have it. We have, I think, Rainbow getting out of the way. So if you want to just bring our P1 winner over the line, Cross Street.
Yeah, so just around the last few corners, it's been an absolutely dominating drive from McVitie's from start to finish, and he's a well-deserved Tier 4 winner of the British Grand Prix. Well done to him. Coming across the line in second, it's going to be Scotsman. P3, it's going to be Michael's the benefits out of the penalties, so he'll finish P3. Mongo will just drop down to P4, Blunt P5, Epic Frenchie only gets up to P6. It did look like it was going to get closer with the penalties, but obviously not. Fox P7, Patronus P8, P9 for Stale, and Fishsticks is going to grab the last available point. P11 is going to be David as Radical just comes across the line. P13 will be Stars. He's actually going to get P12 due to Radical penalties. The 14 is going to be magic as he
Oh.
slides big time across the line.
So that was our tier 4 race. Hope everyone enjoyed themselves. Very, very good, clean racing, clean overtakes. Scotsman, according to the game, is the driver of the day, but that is down to Cross Creek by the end of the day, so he might not even actually get it. So there are our 3 drivers. We've got the Aston Martin, Red Bull, and we have Michaels on the... Oh no, it weren't Michaels. Mongo on... I swear I just saw a Ferrari on the podium.
Big Michaels, he guaranteed because of the penalties.
Oh. My standards are all wrong. I've got Scotsman, Mongo, Blunt Blade, Michaels. Oh well. If you invite these young gentlemen in, that would be great. Young gentleman, the other one's old, so 2 young, 1 old.
Of course, we have to wait for the old one.
Showroom. So guys, if you can please include your audio, that would be great. So Crossgrave, if you want to take the interview with the Ferrari driver of Michaels.
Yeah, no problem. So Michaels, P3 in the main race. I believe you had qualified P14 in general. How did you feel that went? Do you think you had more in you?
I had a lot more. I had a lot more than that. This disaster really. Although I've been pole that last 2 races and got 3 points, so maybe I shouldn't be on pole anymore. Yeah, there was a top 10 at least in there because I kept validating through Mags and Beckett's, and then sprint race. We didn't talk about sprint race because that was pointless.
Yeah, well, I think we'll move on to the sprint. I think P10 was much going on for yourself, or was just kind of just trying to stay out of the way of people, and just make them few positions as you could.
Yeah, that was the aim, to try and gain as many positions as I can, just to make the grid for the actual race more decent than I originally started. But I tapped the back of steel in turn 1. It was just because the back was so close, and I just had to deal with understeer, front wing damage to the rest of that sprint race, and managed to gain 10th. So
Then going into the race, obviously starting from P10, we know there was a bit of action at the front going into turn 1. Was there any avoiding action, or were you quite close to it?
no, I mean, remember the stars is blurred now. I was so focused the last few laps there, but no, my main sort of aim, because obviously I had damage in the sprint race in the first quarter, I thought just keep out of harm's way. Oh no, I disconnected. That's what that was. So
Yes.
to come back in another 8th, I was like, okay, I'll take that. Yeah, that's my first disconnect in 2 years. So, but yeah, I came back 8th, and I was like, okay, I'm here. Let's go
FPRL's
from
fault.
here.
That's what it is.
Yes. Who's the host?
AI comes in with the assist.
Lol. Lolface was the host.
Okay.
Lolface's
I'll blame
fault.
him. I'll blame him.
We were talking on stream about tires. You know, it does seem like it's a pretty high track. Was tires ever a problem for yourself?
The mediums towards like lap 10, or maybe lap 9, 10, 11 or so, they were awful. Absolutely awful. Because I was doing so many battles in that trainer cars there, they just overheated and it was wearing out. I was so grateful to get on the hards. They were so much better. They were a little bit warm the last couple of laps, but yeah, they were so much better than mediums. So much better. But couldn't keep back Scotsman on the softs and managed to keep it together for a third place, which I'm very, very happy about. So,
Yeah, I think we can all say it was a great drive from yourself from starting P10. Just want to congratulate you on that podium, and I think we'll move on to Scotsman's interview with ads.
thank you.
Yeah, congratulations, Scotsman. P2.
Cheers,
very,
mate.
very strong result. Just going to talk you through obviously the sprint race. You had a decent start in the old sprint race. Just talk us through the reason why you picked the soft tyres, and the battle you had with Blunt Blade, Blunt Blade. That I know you lost out a little bit through that.
Yeah. I picked the softs because I'd done a trial earlier on today, and I knew that the softs could make it. I knew it was going to I would still have about, I don't know, 40, or I'd be in about the late 50% in tyre wear by the time I finished. Also, I knew that I could not under fuel, but lower my fuel quite a bit. And I was just going for it. And me and Blunt Blade, I was going to take him at the end of Wellington Straight. And he's just turned into me a little bit. I'll need to look back at it before I punish his ass. But I'll see. I don't know, man. I'll have a look and see if it's going to benefit me or not.
No,
But
so, did you? I think you qualified fifth, was it?
yeah, I think so.
Yeah. So if you can just tell me about the start, because obviously we couldn't see it. 1 minute you was fifth, the next minute you was 12th. What did you get caught up in the accident with Tattoo Sky and Nasher? Did you have to take avoiding action, or was you was you the one to cause it?
Was it Tattoo and Bit? Was it not at the start?
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
ball on my screen. I left him space, but all of a sudden he spun
Yeah.
around.
Don't want to hear
Don't
it. Don't want to hear it. Don't, shush, mate. That's my teammate. I'm telling you now, that's you getting the F-bomb. You're effed up, boy. No, what happened is I went round turn 1, sexy as I do, and then I see Tattooed Star like sideways, and he's coming back onto the track. So I take the action to move to the left off the track, and then I come back on the track, and it's yellow flags, and I'm sure a couple of cars passed by me because I was sitting in, I don't know, I think I was like 10th or 11th, and then next minute it tells me to give the place back to, I think, Fish Sticks, and then give the place back to Rainbow, and I'm like, what the fuck? But I mean, at that point I thought, right, that's me. I'll be happy to get some points, and I think my strategy sort of played a good part in it as well.
Yeah, so going through your strategy, when obviously you saw yourself dropping down to P12, was you forced to change the tyres? Because obviously we knew you started on obviously the hards, but then you had to go on. You decided to go on to stuff. You had a really long first hit, which we didn't think would have benefited you, but it did. You didn't lose much time in the pit stop to Blunt Blade. Did you have to try and change your approach because you was in P12, or did you just manage your tyres all the way up to when you needed to pit?
I was just trying to manage them. I was initially going to pit on lap 16 anyway and going to the softs because Tattooed was on the hards, but he was going to pit for the mediums. So I thought I'll just pick a slightly different strategy from him. Plus, I'm finding sometimes picking like a weird strategy sometimes works better. That's like the past three races that I've completed has worked with a weird strategy that I wouldn't normally pick. And I was at the pit on lap 16 when Blunt Blade came in. I don't know if you've seen it. I was almost up beside him.
Yes, we saw it, and we squint.
Keep on.
You had very, very good reactions to that. It was a proper squeaky bum moment, that was. But again, that's the difficulty of not knowing when people are going to pit or whatnot. So
Yeah.
maybe maybe we'll look into the future when if someone's pitting at these types of tracks where it is hard to gauge the entry. Maybe Blunt Blade should be on the right instead of be on the left, sort of thing. If you're side by side, if you get what I mean.
Yeah, definitely. But as I say, I pulled up sort of beside, and I was thinking he was going to go in anyway. That's why I was quite quick in reacting.
So at the end, you was on the soft tyres. You made all the moves necessary. You finished second. I saw your fuel flashing at the end.
Yeah.
Was you worried about your fuel?
No, not at all. I had like 0.7 something like that left. So like that, there was still loads left. But again, I had done a trial during the day just to see if I could underfuel or not underfuel, but you know what I mean, like lower my fuel and how much I could do it. Yeah, but it was a good race. I don't think there was too much barging or stuff like that. I think it was just quite hard racing. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, it looked pretty clean from our side. Obviously, apart from lap 1.
Yeah.
It was quite stalemate between people. Lovely moves. But again, congratulations for P2. Much better step up from Austria.
Fuck! Don't ruin any of that.
So I believe you've obviously again extended your championship lead. But again, congratulations. You looking forward to Hungary?
Yeah, it's a track I like. Not saying that I'm good at it, but I do quite enjoy it. And also,
good.
Congratulations to Michael for his P3 and Vic for his P1.
Thank you. Right, Crossgrave, if you want to just do McFit, and then obviously we'll just share the last one.
No worries, but so but P3 going into the sprint race.
Into the sprint race you were talking about.
Okay. Going into the sprint race from P3, did you find, obviously seeing you had the pace in the main race, did you find you would have that pace in the sprint to get to the top?
I knew I had the pace. I messed up a little bit in quality and validated my final lap whilst gaining 0.6. So I could have gone to the 125s in quality, but I messed up my lap pushing it too hard. So I started in P3, which wasn't ideal, but after the battle in the blunt and Mongo a bit, I managed to get past him. I was just focused and trying to keep it clean and smooth and just get out of Mongo's DRS. Towards the end, Tattoo started putting pressure on me. I did a switch back going, what's the corner after the Maggots and Beckett's?
Stowe.
Its name. Stowe, yeah. Did a switch back on him on Max. He went on the inside and went a bit wide, so I switched back on him and managed to maintain the win in the sprint. But other than that, it was just mostly trying to keep it clean and avoid getting penalties for me, but I was confident in my pace.
Yeah, obviously that win in the sprint set up pole position in the main race. Did see something in turn 1, but don't didn't fully catch it, I don't think. Can you talk us through it from your
Sorry,
end
Lester.
anyway?
Sorry,
Me and Tattoo were going off. He was a little bit behind me, but like close enough to be side on. It's like his front wheels were in line with my rears. I was planning on squeezing him anyway because he was so close to the wall. He would have to take it wider. And on my screen, I left him enough space for about a car's width around the corner. But on that end, I ended up tapping him. I'm not sure if because I didn't see it personally or feel it on the car. But I apologise to him for it because I should have left a lot more space knowing that he was going in a lot tighter than I was. But that first incident, there's not much I could have done without going off the track really with the speed we're going at. But yeah, that's how turn one went anyway.
Yeah,
Sort
from
of
there,
spun him
though,
round.
it looked like a pretty dominating drive. Was it as easy as it looked?
No, I did under fuel quite a bit. I struggled to keep Mongo behind me for a bit, and then I think his tyre started to wear and he started to lose a bit of pace. But I managed to look after mine enough to maintain the pace I was at. So I managed to just get out his DRS and just slowly, but surely gain a little bit of a distance. I drained most of my ERS trying to get away from him, but trying to keep it clean again, avoid getting penalties at all costs.
Yeah, that was one of the main things we could see was the penalties. You did go pretty long on the hards. It seemed that there was a slight undercut. Well, I say slight. I think it was Mongo that done the undercut on you. Was there any worry then when he came out right beside you?
Not really, because I knew I had 2 lap pressure mediums at the time because he went in 2 laps earlier than me. I knew he was going for the undercut and I was ready for the battle when it came out, so I was expecting it. But I wasn't going to sacrifice my pace at the end of the race just to keep ahead of him. So I knew I could probably try and get past him with the fresher tyres.
Well, congratulations on the P1. Ads, if you want to ask any few questions.
Yeah, I just want to say congratulations again. Another strong showing by you. Really, you got the triple, really, didn't you? Pole position. I think you got far. Did you get fastest lap in the end? I think you did.
No, I think
I
Steele
did.
took it off me. Oh no, Scotland.
No,
Scott's
did I not get it?
Okay.
No, I
That
think
was on the
I think
softs.
the last person I noticed was Steele, and I think you got purple at the end or near the end.
Okay. Well, you got the double. Good showing in qualifying. Winning the sprint. Winning the race. Comfortable win in the end. Confidence going into Hungary. How are you feeling with Hungary off the back of a P3 and
Hungary,
a P1?
Hungary is a track I'm confident I can make good moves on. I like making moves on that track. It's just going to be me having to put a lot of practice into it to build the pace up again. And I've probably spending too much time on this game. Like I'm doing about a minimum of 30 hours practicing the track. But yeah, it's just going to
So
have to be
obviously-
practice and grinding out to try and get pace.
So obviously this win is going to put you up towards fifth or sixth in the championship. Are you thinking that you can go for it now and try and beat Scotsman to the title halfway through the season?
It's all dependent on my luck, to be honest. I won the first race, and then I had some poor luck with not being able to properly start a race. I did not start in Australia because the game kicked me out. A couple of DNFs due to game bugs, and then it was just little issues in Miami. So now I'm starting to settle back into what I was when I started the season. I feel like I can potentially get up there with Scotsman. I'm not sure if I'll be able to catch him in time though, because he is a quick driver and he is getting consistent points.
Just keep
Yeah,
doing your
well-
3,000 trial lap shot.
I don't do time trial, mate. I do quality and Grand Prix.
Oh, do you? Oh, I think you're sticking to doing like 3,000 laps and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's my plan anyway.
Well, congratulations anyway. So that is the top 3 drivers for our Tier 4. And please come back and join us for the Hungarian Grand Prix for Tier 3, which starts next Wednesday. And I hope everyone's enjoyed it, and we will see you then. Good night.
Good night.
Oh, hang on. Driver of the day, Koski. 2 secs.
There's only one man. It has to be Pitt. He's P3 in quali, P1 in both races. He's the only man for it.
Oh,
Okay,
you
so
couldn't pick me,
congratulations,
could
Viv,
you?
on the P.
You really
Congrats-
think I was going to
congr-
give you that, Scotsman?
Honest to God, mate. Honest to God. I
So
can't.
congratulations on driver of the day. So you have got the triple
Suck
driver
a
of the
dick.
day and 2 wins.
14th to 10th to 3rd. Hang on a minute.
No.
No, your choice.
Aye,
I
I-
understand.
It's
I've
his
got a
choice.
stream.
I'm not
It's his
sold,
choice.
not sold.
Argue in a minute.
It's biased, but
Right.
we'll let him have it.
So, yeah. So everyone, please tune in for next week, starting Wednesday, Tier 3 race in Hungary. Have a lovely evening. Good night.